Hello, my name is Sam Chase, and I'm the Canadian co-facilitator of the Refugee Highway Partnership Network in North America. I've been a pastor, I've worked in a seminary and with a global mission agency, and for the past 4 years, I've been the executive director of Christie Refugee Welcome Centre in Toronto. The Refugee Highway Partnership's vision is to see a kingdom movement of transformational ministry with and among forcibly displaced people in North America and beyond. We at the Refugee Highway Partnership are excited to partner with Welcome Church in helping to inspire, equip, and mobilize churches across our nation to welcome newcomers to Canada. Refugees are one specific group of newcomers. Unlike other people who migrate across borders, refugees are usually forced to leave their countries because their lives and the lives of their families are in danger. They're fleeing war or persecution, some kind of violence, and today there are 82 million forcibly displaced people in the world, representing, if you can believe it, 1 out of every 95 human beings who are alive today. Now, generally, we refer to all of these people as refugees. However, there are actually 4 different categories of forcibly displaced people that are helpful to be aware of. So first, the broadest category is, as we've mentioned, forcibly displaced people. Forcibly displaced people are people who have been uprooted from their homes involuntarily, often in response to war, violence, or other forms of disaster. Second, internally displaced people. Internally displaced people are a subcategory of forcibly displaced people. And internally displaced people have been forced to flee their homes, but have chosen to or were not able to flee their country. There are approximately 48 million internally displaced people in our world, making them the largest subgroup of forcibly displaced people. They remain under the authority of their own government, even though that government might be the direct cause of their displacement. Third, refugees. Refugees are another subcategory of forcibly displaced people. Refugees have had to cross an international border in search of safety, seeking refuge outside of their home country. And there are 20.7 million refugees on our planet today. And last, refugee claimants or asylum seekers. Asylum seekers are people who are asking for permanent refuge in a foreign country, but whose claim to need protection has not yet been definitively evaluated. If their case is approved, they will receive refugee status. There are about 4.1 million people seeking asylum in our world, and in Canada, we call asylum seekers refugee claimants. This number of forcibly displaced people highlights the importance of the refugee stream of Welcome Church, as well as how this stream differs from others. You know, people come to Canada for a variety of reasons, of course. However, if someone arrives as a refugee or a refugee claimant, it is because of a well-founded fear of violence and persecution in their homeland. Home, which is meant to be safe, has become dangerous. So they flee for their safety and the safety of their families. They may have been much like you and I, with jobs and houses and families and friends and faith communities, but then they had to flee, sometimes suddenly. The Bible is full of people who share the story of forced displacement. Many of our heroes from the Bible actually experienced life as a displaced person, including, but not limited to, Mary, Joseph, and Jesus, Abraham and Sarah, Hagar and Ishmael, Joseph, Naomi, Ruth, David, Elijah, Jeremiah, Ezekiel, the entire nation of Israel, and the earlier followers of Jesus. It is clear that God loves and cares for displaced people. As it says in Psalm 9, the Lord is a stronghold for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. People who arrive in Canada as refugees face many obstacles and challenges, including social isolation, having to adapt to our weather, language barriers, education, navigating government systems, employment, and housing. In addition, refugees carry with them the burdens that they bring from their home countries. They are grieving the loss of what they had to leave behind, usually including family members and friends, and many will have lived through various types of trauma. Further, if they're a refugee claimant or asylum seeker, they won't be sure they'll be allowed to stay in Canada, so for a while they live with a great deal of uncertainty. Many, however, do end up staying, and they are motivated to become a part of Canadian society. Out of their gratitude, many become warm and productive members of our neighborhoods and communities. Churches that walk alongside refugees often find that God uses the experience to bring new insight and transformation to their church. Refugees often have lived experience at dealing with persecution, oppression, and of course displacement, and they may have much to offer us in our own journey of faith. We at the Refugee Highway Partnership and Welcome Church are excited for your church's interest and involvement in this vital, hope-giving, and life-saving ministry. Thank you.